This whole rap game is mine.
So in other words, your money's up.
This is my time. Yeah. Hey,
Alright,
Jay,
look.
tell them what my name is.
Let 'em know. Most of y'all probably don't even, one, know about that song. Two, realize that was in like fucking 2010. And I'm standing on business still that I understand Kendrick won 75 Grammys and all this and that. I'm still rocking with Drake. That's part of it. It was, as I'll get later into this part. Oh, this is episode 5, Perplexed N.A.P. It's Monday, you know the vibes. As we'll get later on into the podcast, I just settled early on, whenever I was like 10, 11, and 12 on a bunch of things, and I've just stuck with them ever since. And motherfucker, Drake is one of them, so that's how it be. But I'm gonna start this off, and I'm going to review The Weeknd's new album. It's called Hurry Up Tomorrow. And if you don't know, The Weeknd, his real name is Abel, and he's had this trilogy going where it was leading up. It had a crazy moment in the middle where like he had a PR stunt of like inflating his face with plastic surgery, but it was all fake, and a lot of people, including myself, believed it for a second. And then he's ending it now, and the whole shtick is he wants to end the Weeknd persona, and he literally says, "Call me by my old name." Not like I don't know the word quote for quote, but he says to call him by his, like, call him by Abel in one of his songs. So he's trying to put the Weeknd, that whole persona, to rest. But I'm going to be honest, and if you're a Weeknd fan, you might not want to listen to this because your boy did not like the album. Mac Miller's, whenever I reviewed his, I liked his. I went into it as I'm not biased of any sort. I didn't have a 100% positive, 100% negative. I was just in the middle of, I can listen to their music and I enjoy their music. So with that being the same guidelines for The Weeknd, and I didn't have any biasness towards like his the beef with Drake and all that. I know what's happening, like, and I know the beef with XO and all that stuff, but I just don't care about it. So I went into The Weeknd's album unbiased, and I was like, okay, bet The Weeknd has some bangers. He's got plenty of bangers that on his actual catalog that he can play. So just making a few more of those. He didn't. The one is like, okay, I will say, well, no, because this is just one that's already on his catalog that he pre-dropped, and it's timeless, and he just put that on this album, and that's like one of the few. Cry for Me, I like that one. Give Me Mercy, I like that one. And yeah, I just like that because as I listened to him, I did the same thing I did for Mac Miller's. I would write down the title, I would check mark if I liked it, just like a dash if it was like neutral, and an X if I didn't like it. And I would give one thing about the song to be like, all right, this is why I didn't, this is why I was neutral, or this is why I liked it. Every song I have an X or a dash for neutral, except the 3 of them. So, I mean, I tried to like it. I really did try to like it. But it just wasn't my vibe. I'm excited to see what the fuck he's gonna do with just being able, because I mean, I don't know if he's gonna change his music up, or he's gonna start like rapping, or if he's gonna change the entire, like, the whole genre of music he's doing. If he's gonna keep his fans, because a lot of people have stopped listening to him in general because of this, the whole like storytelling style he's kind of stepped into, which also means he's picked up a whole different wave of people to be like, oh shit, this is different. So altogether, I mean, like, I really did try to like it, but I just couldn't. And I will say, what I have written down for majority of the reasons as like it got an X. There's a lot of them where they have, it's repetitive. Well, I wrote down it's repetitive in it. And that's one thing about the Weeknd songs, man. If you count how many times he probably says the chorus in some of his songs. It's probably disgusting amount. You know what? I'm actually gonna do that. For one that says it's pretty repetitive. Oh, hurry up tomorrow. I'm gonna count how many times he says hurry up tomorrow in his song. Oh, that's crazy. I was playing Drewby's freestyle earlier. Oh, I said the title. Well, okay. Listen, it was a different time. I was just having fun, and I still am. Fuck it. That's crazy. It's just on Apple Music now. What the fuck? Alright. Hurry up tomorrow. I'm gonna regret listening to this because it literally has. Well, it's a dash, not an X, so I didn't dislike it. But. Because if I remember it correctly, yeah. The story was like. Because it's all storytelling, you know? So the story itself was okay. Every time he says it, I'm a dash. Okay. I thought at first I was like, maybe I'm being too harsh. And I started listening to the song. Like again. Because hurry up tomorrow. The dude says hurry up tomorrow like 2 times. And that wasn't that repetitive. So I was like, damn, I gotta listen to another song. Because I didn't I mean, again, I didn't have it as dislike. It was neutral. And the story, again, maybe the first time listening to it, the story, I don't know. Every song, the first thing I listen to is a beat. I prefer a beat over lyrics, which was probably not the most popular opinion, but that's just me, to be honest with you. And the beats on these, some of the beats even had beat changes, and I was like, oh shit, he's doing a beat change. And then the beat he changed to was whack, or like changed to, and the skits, don't even get me started on the skits. One of the songs, it was like, oh, this is a song, but I was like, no, this is a skit. I was like, oh, this is, okay, I don't know what's happening. And then I literally wrote that down for, like how I said, I give an explanation of why I didn't like it or why I like, etc. I literally wrote down for, oh, I gotta listen to Drive again. My reasoning for that is literally just too repetitive. So that'll be a good tell. Yeah, man, some of these are just like, The Abyss, I put whack. So like, in the beginning, I started with like actual thing, and then towards the end, I was like, all right, it was Big Sleep. I said, what the hell is happening? So I'm gonna re-listen to Big Sleep, and maybe I'm hating. I don't think I am. Okay, okay. First of all, no, I'm standing on business. What the fuck is happening in that song? In Big Sleep, dude. I don't even understand. It starts off with like a LSD trip or like an acid trip, and then it does a beat change, and I'm like, oh shit. And then it's like, psych, it's not a beat change. He says like, there's like 4 fucking verses in the entire song. It's like 3 minutes 45 seconds. Also, I listened to Drive because it said too repetitive. He said, I just want to drive like that chorus 16 times. And honestly, I was being nicer than I should have because he said, I just want to drive 32 times in that song. It's 3 minutes long. I will stand by my point. There's some songs if I listen to it enough, I could probably just get used to the beat and start to like that more. But overall, I'm neutral to the album. I won't say I dislike the album. I'm saying I'm neutral to the album. And it's very repetitive. I'm standing on that. Now, I'm just going to yap for a second about something I don't really know much about. So I did some research on it. And your boy, if you know me, you know this. If you don't know me, I'll explain why. But I don't watch or like the NBA or NFL. And I could probably start watching NFL again. I just don't want to join like mid or at the end of the season. Like I'll probably watch the Super Bowl because I'm a hypocrite, but just to see if the Eagles win. Now, I don't like no, I whenever I was a kid, I was like I don't know, 11, 12, around that age. I was making big decisions, obviously, whenever I was that age. Like, I want to be a rapper. I like these teams. I like this person. I like this, fucking this rapper specifically. Like, back in the day, if I was a kid, I picked 2 teams. I was like 10. I just picked 2. And I picked Lakers, and then I picked Packers. Lakers. I would end up playing like 2K and have to pick a team. All right, but I'm picking Lakers. They got Kobe. They would have Paul Gasol, Dwight Howard, Ron Artest, or fucking Meta World Peace. So I would just pick the Lakers and just be like, all right, bet. And then over 10 years later, I haven't picked different teams. If I end up watching sports again, I'm gonna watch Packers, even though they had Rodgers. They lost Rodgers. Clay Matthews, Randall Cobb, Aaron Rodgers. Those like there's just the few players that I actually like knew whenever I was younger, and then as I got older, majority of them have either retired or switched teams. So I'm gonna be hopping into everything new. But the reason I don't like it is nowadays I can see the change and like, all right, people are aware of this, and we can't just do everything up front, so it would have to be like more behind the scenes stuff, which we would never even be able to figure out. But I watched the documentary of the ref rigging games, dude, and that fucked my perception up completely. Because as a kid, and even now, I don't dislike wrestling now, but as a kid, I loved wrestling. Like I was a huge wrestling fan, and I figured out that was fake. And it's not that I didn't like it. I still loved it, but it was like, oh, okay. So now I'm looking at it. Everything is like, well, what is Vince McMahon? What I'm looking at it as what is his decision? What did he do next? What did he do here? So whenever I see the documentary of the refs doing it, my first thought is, oh shit, how are the coaches like? Is nowadays? How big of a asshole is Mark Cuban? Do people like him? Or that's the stuff I feel like I would have to think about going into NBA. Now, like I said, it might have changed, and that might not be how it is. I don't know if it's the same for NFL. I've only heard bad things about the NFL. Plus the memes alone, like from not being an avid sports watcher anymore, I don't have the algorithm of just like nonstop sports memes or anything. I get like the clips that go viral and stuff, and I also get like the some memes that go viral from like just like normal meme pages. They'll post those sports memes. So I'll see them be like, oh, go get your Chiefs jersey, and it's a dude getting a ref's jersey, and so I'm like, I just I don't know. I feel like it would be a risk to hop back into it, the start of a season, watch the Packers, and get 6 games in and realize this isn't going anywhere. Because now, I mean, I get the part of the fun is sitting down and watching your team play. And I also missed out because I didn't do fantasy. Every time I've watched NFL since I've been like an adult, every time I've watched, I've done fantasy just to keep it more interesting. I tried to do an NBA fantasy for the first time this year, well, last year. Didn't work out. Nobody else wanted to. And I don't blame them. It's a shit ton of work, but I think I would have to do an NBA fantasy in order to start watching NBA games that aren't just like Laker games. Okay. And I did warn you that I'm going to yap because that just reminded me. All of this yapping leads to what the fuck happened in the NBA recently. I'm going to give like the top pick for 2 things, and I'm just probably going to yap about the first one, which will lead to the second one. The Mavericks traded Luka. I had to do research for a bunch of, and I did figure out a bunch of behind the scenes stuff about the NBA, just figuring this stuff out. Like why the fuck the Jazz was involved, but I figured out why. And keep in mind, all of this is coming from a guy who doesn't know shit about basketball anymore. I don't know any of the crazy culture, or I understand why it's a bad thing to lose Anthony Davis, and then but the whole thing that I realized is these coaches don't give a single fuck. They're like, all right, look, he was our biggest player. He helped us out a shit ton last year. Guess what? He's not doing defense. Boot! Give him the fucking boot. So, I mean, once it comes to that level of like, you can't have an ego because we'll just send you to become little brother to LeBron, which I don't understand. I tried to figure out what's gonna happen with the Lakers because it's gonna be Luka and LeBron now, and they both prefer to have the ball. So I don't know what's gonna happen there. But the details behind it, and if you're watching this and you are a avid sports fan, you would probably know these details. But I'm gonna say it anyways because I know some people watching this have no idea. The Lakers received Luka, and I had to figure out how to fuck to say some of these people's names to be honest with you. Maxi Kleber and Markieff Morris. That's who the Lakers received. Now the Mavericks received Anthony fucking Davis and Max Christie. I don't know who Max Christie is, but Anthony Davis is a crazy one. Now keep in mind that I feel like the only reason I know of Anthony Davis now is because of he's at UK, and he's on the Lakers, but he wasn't on the Lakers really in the years of me watching the Lakers. So if he wasn't at UK, I wouldn't know who he is honestly. But he is a huge fucking part of their team, or I should say it was. And this was the part that confused the shit out of me. The Jazz received Jalen 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼𝙇𝙎 and a 2025 second round pick from the Clippers, aka via Lakers. Wasn't sure about that. And another second round pick from the Mavs. So I'm assuming the Lakers were getting one from Clippers somehow, and they just gave that to the Jazz instead. I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up later. Oh, the Mavs also received a 2029 first round pick, like from the Lakers. I just don't. 2029 and Anthony Davis. It just doesn't. Unless Max Christie is also pulling some crazy weight that I'm not realizing, it just doesn't make sense. And I tried to look more into the whole like, oh, he doesn't play defense, so I didn't know if there was more like animosity behind the scenes or anything. Couldn't find anything, but I was so confused why the Jazz was a part of it. To find out, Jazz was a part of it, so the rules were up to standard. So they had to be like up to the NBA rules, and they had to cover the pay salaries for caps, and they got Jalen 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼𝙇𝙎 because from the Lakers, because they would have had some type of cap. It's like, oh, that's over limit. You gotta take this dude somewhere, and then it's crazy that the Jazz's perspective of this is like, all right, bet we'll facilitate it. We're getting nothing. Now there are some negatives behind it. Like if you're either breaching some other caps, or now you got to deal with this team dynamic addition and be like, all right, start playing with these people now instead of whoever you've been building with for who knows how long. But other than those aside, they're just like, all right, bet we'll get a free draft pick, and we'll also get a free fucking player for a roster. Because I also realized that the Jazz are in rebuild mode, or some say they've been in rebuild mode for years. One specific person who's like, all right, I'm a huge Jazz fan. They said that no, it's just recently starting because we've been pretty neutral or decent, but now we're actually gonna kick it in gear. So I don't know what the Jazz is, what the fuck they're gonna do. But 2025 might be the year where I get back into NBA again. I don't know if I want to do NBA or NFL first. I cannot do both. As much as I would want to, I can't. And I would have to do fantasy to watch it. So who knows which one of those I'll pick to do. And I said it was going to just lead into the next yapping thing, and it is because, dude, this blew my mind. What the fuck, these big, like the higher ups at like the Grammys and the Royal Rumble at WWE, and it's all genius, dude. They're getting new age, like the new era of just influencers and YouTubers and actors, and they just display them to the kids watching, or like the people my age watching, and they're like, yo, we got these people part of our shits, you should fuck with us. And it works. Like, 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼𝘾 was live streaming at the Royal Rumble and at the Grammys red carpet. And I'll get to the Grammys later. Don't get me started. But that is crazy to me. They realize, oh, the future, aka what's currently happening in present time, is people are slowly transitioning from watching TV to streaming. And people are like, I don't want to pay for the different streaming platforms. I'd rather just watch a streamer. And so people are watching streamers. Because people are always going to watch YouTube. But the streamers do the live stream. And then they do YouTube videos also, because that's just, and I say this respectfully, whenever you're doing a job like 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼𝘾, his can probably get stressful now just because how much shit he has like lined up. But majority of streamers don't have like a really hard life. You're sitting at your computer, you're doing behind the scenes business stuff whenever you're not streaming, and then other times whenever you're not streaming, you're at your house. So majority also are like, all right, bet I'm gonna make YouTube videos, post on YouTube. So it's the TV to streaming to YouTube and live streaming on Twitch, or like other, just live streaming in general. The times are changing, and these people at the higher ups, they're realizing times are changing. They got speed in the Royal Rumble to pull up like a member, like a number in the Royal Rumble to take place of somebody. I can't remember who he took place for, but that is just crazy. And they recreated like a meme moment where Speed was playing some WWE game, and he got picked up, his character got picked up and eliminated. And they literally recreated, and it's scripted. So they were able to recreate that exact moment of some buff, strong dude picking Speed up and throwing him out. It was crazy. They realized how to get the viral moments going, and 𝙎 streaming at the Grammy red carpet is genius. I'm not sure if he's like actually streamed at the Grammys itself too, but I did see the stream at the red carpet, and because that is the majority of stuff that people watch. I think people see the clips from red carpet, they'll see like the individual awards that they want, like they're actually interested in, and then the rest of it they'll like read about later, or they'll see posts about it, and they're like, okay, bet, I'm informed. Because the red carpet this year was crazy, dude. This man Kanye pulled up only for the red carpet, and he pulled up with his girl Bianca, completely naked with just like a black jacket over her, and the suit she had on was 99.6 transparent, and it was crazy. But that's some Kanye shit though. He just pulls up and he's like, all right, deuces. There was a fucking a viral tweet or some type of post that was going, being like, Kanye got kicked out of the Grammys, and they had to shut that down real quick. I was like, hey, we didn't get kicked out. We just wanted to show up for the pictures and bounce. So that makes more sense than them kicking Kanye out, because he had a nomination. So, and now that I've already talked about it, fuck it, I might as well get into it. The Grammys, dude. And remember how this podcast started, bro? I'm not gonna be biased, but it was a little crazy. I wrote down all, I can't even say all, because the amount of Grammys that go out are insane. There's so many that aren't even, one, I didn't realize are not televised. That's crazy. What's up with those people? Two, people don't even realize there's Grammys for. Yo, I just looked that up. There are 94 awards given. There's 94 Grammys. Guess how many are televised? 9. Bro, that is insane to me. So the 9 that they show, they gotta be for a reason, bro. I can't look at this shit and then not have a twisted idea on most of it. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm gonna read out what the award is for, who won it, and who it was against. I can't make this shit up. Album of the year, Cowboy Carter, Beyonce. Saw it coming. We all saw it coming. It was against Andre 3000, Sabrina Carpenter, T Swift, Billie Eilish, and some other people. New artist was Chapel Roan, which I feel like I know some of her songs. I'm gonna look her up real quick just to be 100% sure. Okay, yeah. After listening to the numbers, I do know her, and I'm glad she won the new artist because who she was up against. Shabuzi, which that's a good new artist. Benson Boone, not sure who that is. I'm listening to a song of his. I'm trying to be 100% fair and not biased on anything for all of this, because I'm actually trying to get into new music too. I don't think any of these people will be on the list, but I am trying to get into new music. Benson Boone, and I'm assuming I know him too because I know majority of these people just from listening to the radio at work. It's always on. It's just in the corner. It's just playing the generic radio hits. So I know majority of these songs by heart. I feel like. I recall. Yeah. See, look, I literally as soon as you started saying the words, I knew 'em. Okay. So there was Shabuzi, Benson Boone, Teddy Swims. I might have to do the same. See, look, I should have done this before because I was just reading them off. The other ones I know. Luckily, everyone else after this, I'll know. But it was just this list specifically new artist. And I should have known new artist. Look these up, stupid. Okay. Yeah, again, Lose Control. Banger. So I know Teddy Swims. I just don't know any of them by their name. Not yet, at least. They'll stick around and I'll know them eventually. But and then Sabrina Carpenter, which new artist. I didn't know she was a new artist. I guess she just been around so much recently that she's kind of stuck as not a new artist. And there were some more. I didn't even write them down. And then song. Listen, we all knew Not Like Us was going to win. But this is where it starts to get fishy. Because there's a handful of people that were even given this option to be the song. And I'm pretty sure you have to pay to get yourself nominated into the Grammys. Then it's the same groups, like the same record labels that own the same people that have ties, yada yada yada, behind the scenes stuff. Which then once I start talking like this, people are like, "Oh, you're blah 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 blah." I'm just saying, as I was writing down who people were going against, like, all right, this person won against these other nominations. I was unbiased. I was blindly just writing down names, and then as I was writing these two down, I was like, wait a second, these are okay. So the song Not Like Us and record Not Like Us, they won two, which believe it or not is a pretty common thing. Like Billie Eilish did it with Bad Guy in 2020, and I'm pretty sure Adele did 2017 with Hello. So winning both isn't necessarily like an eyebrow raise, but it's the people who are a part. Like whenever he won the song Not Like Us, he was running against Taylor Swift, Billie Eilish, Sabrina Carpenter, Shabozy, Chapel Roan. It's all, and the Beatles were in both of them too. They were all the exact same. And I mean, you don't have to pay like big money, I guess, to actually be nominated. As I was making or doing the research for this whole yap session, I figured out what it takes to even be able to like nominate people into the Grammys. You have to be in the professional music group, whatever the fuck it's called. You have to be a part of that group, and you have to be active for a year. And if you're active for a year, then you're eligible. And some people aren't even eligible to vote. Some are. if you are eligible to vote, everything is anonymous, and you get a ballot, and then they expect you and not use any biased judgment on relationships to vote in only the ballots, only the fields that you are confident and professional in. Keep in mind it's anonymous, so majority of the people, if you would probably be able to tell who's who, because they have to put, I think it's like 5, I can't remember the number. They have to put the amount of nominees to be like, these are people that I think should win this. And then I don't know who the final group is, like above those people, the people who vote. They collect all of them, and then they figured out who, all right, these names are used the most, these names are used the most. And then they do another round of the same people who vote the first time. And again, it's all anonymous. They go and they just do another voting session, and this is the winner. And they've been critiqued multiple times in the past. It's all fishy. It's not new. But Now Like Us won 5 awards. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. It won 5. Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Best Rap Performance, Best Song Performance, Best Rap Song, and Best Music Video. So, all I'm saying is that there was for sure an agenda. Ridicule me if you want, I don't care. Because this next one I'm gonna say, buddy, this pissed some people off. It doesn't even make sense to me how this can happen. Dude, what the fuck? Unless country music this year was just whack as fuck. Country Album of the Year, Cowboy Carter, Beyonce. The same as overall Album of the Year. And look, it might be normal for a country album to win Album of the Year and Country Album of the Year if country music was popping that year. But country music was not popping this year. It was the country music that was popping was like a cross between country and pop, or country and a different type of music. So it was all muddy water. Plus, there's already the stain of like the Grammys and like the People's Choice and what's the other one? Billboard Music Awards. That's what it is. But they don't have the biggest impact on like the country culture, you know? I don't know if that's country. Yeah, I guess country culture. So, of course, there's like the CMT. There's all of those side country award shows. I don't think Beyonce won a single one of those. So her winning these was kind of her get back, is how I look at it. Plus, like the people she was going against, Chris Stapleton, which I know some of his songs. Casey Musgraves, which she was another one that is like, I'm assuming now she's more of the Taylor Swift role where she can do whatever country music and it's not gonna have any eye raised. But whenever I was looking all this up and I listened to one of her songs, the first one, which is it was either the first or second on like her most popular songs. It wasn't a country song. Third, Post Malone, which if you don't know who Dusty Slay is, you should look up Dusty Slay's opinion on Post Malone, and I feel the same way. And then Lainey Wilson, which she's like been side by side with Jelly Roll, and I was so confused that Jelly Roll, like why he wasn't on here, because he dropped an album in 2024, but I don't know if that was in the time, because you can go from like October 1st to September 30th. I think it's October 1st of this year, and then September 30th of next year. That's whenever the time frame is to be able to be eligible to be a nominee. So he did release something that would be like nominated worth, but Lainey Wilson, she beat him apparently in like nominations. So that's all. It's all weird to me, man. I don't know what's going on the country scene of like why they're trying to incorporate the Beyonce and Post Malone and switch it up, but I've seen few videos of like actual country artists giving their opinion on the country scene now, and probably two of them have been good. One of them, crazy enough, it's just, and he's not even. It's about Jelly Roll. He's not even on here. It's about him saying the N word and talking shit on the people like behind their backs, and they're just sitting in some fucking room, chilling on the couch, and it was crazy. But I'm just curious on what's gonna happen on this next upcoming country awards show. Is there gonna be animosity? Is there not? Is Beyonce gonna continue making country music? Because if she just switches back to like pop or R&B or does some other sort of genre that she would have done previously, that's a little crazy. But that's just my opinion. And then rap album, this kind of got me. Alligator Bites Never Heal by 𝙎𝙬𝘼. And I don't think I've listened to a single song on that entire album. So I'm not sure how that one. I didn't watch it, of course, so I don't know if Eminem even showed up. But you have, like I've mentioned before, you have to enlist yourself to be able to win. So that means Eminem put his last album up to win, and they didn't give it to him, which is crazy. But 𝙎𝙬𝘼 went up against Eminem, J. Cole for the Might Delete Later album. And man, I'm about to get on the soapbox about that. The whole album was a mistake of like, yo, these are the songs that aren't on the Fall Off album, and I'm gonna give them to you now. Plus this last song on it that is me shooting shots, and then after I release it, I'm gonna be pussy and be like, yo, I take that back. I'm gonna be at the Dreamville and just start talking. Nah, man, I can't. I don't know why I did that. I regretted that shit. That wasn't worth it. And then you take it off the album. Keep in mind, like Hunting Wabbits. I still listen to that song because it's a banger. But that's not anywhere near close to rap album of the year. Bro, what? Lil Dicky? Penis didn't win that? Not win that, but like a nomination over J. Cole Might Delete Later. Okay. And I even like J. Cole. I just realized what should and shouldn't be there. And if we're being technical, All the Dogs by Drake was in. It was after the release period in 2023, which, but for some reason, let it be in this current one, which is how Chris Stapleton. Because I was like, Chris Stapleton. I feel like I haven't heard that name in forever. I looked it up. His last album was in November of 2023. So I was like, what? How is that even possible? That's when I figured out the deadline is October 1st through September 30th. And Drake's album was in October. I don't know what day it was, but it was like the first week of October. So realistically, there could have been other rap albums up there. And like Common, he was a nominee, and Future and Metro. I was honestly shocked that they didn't give it to Future and Metro. That is one thing that I was like, really? That's what I was expecting. But I don't think I've ever heard a song from 𝙎𝙬𝘼 on Alligator. Maybe from 𝙎𝙬𝘼 I have, but specifically the album Alligator Bites Never Heal, I don't think I've heard a song from that. Pop vocal album is Short and Sweet from Sabrina Carpenter. And she was going against Ariana Grande, T Swift, Chapel Roan. I don't even know if I'm saying her name right. I think I am. And Billie Eilish. I know I'm saying her name right. So, and I wrote that one down because I was shocked on how much they didn't give Taylor Swift the Not Like Us effect of like, yo, we're gonna give you all of these awards because, well, I guess in some case they kind of gave it to Beyonce. That was the debate for a lot of people, was like, who's better, Beyonce or Taylor Swift? And some people still have different. Man, they're very stern on their beliefs on that. Some people will die on those hills. I don't have an opinion either way, but we could tell which ones the Grammys think. And I gave my opinion on Not Like Us winning all of the awards, but this is one of the awards that, like, yeah, I can understand it winning. the music video award. So like, this is one of the ones where the music video was nonstop talked about up until this day. It's like the people dancing in the video, the where they were at, him getting the collective gangs in LA to be in the video together, dancing together, having the unity at the end, and it all makes sense for that one. I think it was crazy that they put Eminem up there for Houdini. I was like, okay, I see you, Eminem. You're really trying to win one for your last. It didn't work, but you were really trying. Now this one, rap performance. Again, not like us. This one was against Doechii, Common, Cardi B, 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼𝑆, and Eminem. Once again, I'm shocked on how hard Eminem is trying to win a Grammy on his last run, and it's not working. It's sad, man. But good for 𝙎𝙆𝘾𝙄𝘼𝑆. Cardi B, I bet her fan base is going to be very upset that she didn't win. But fucking 𝙎𝙆𝘾𝙄𝘼𝑆, okay, I see you. You're up there, get it, Glow. Up here fucking almost winning a Grammy. Hey, that's good enough to be in the nomination stance for 𝙎𝙆𝘾𝙄𝘼𝑆, because next year this is even more higher chance of her winning. The fact that she got nominated, because like I said before, I never knew how you can even get nominated into the Grammys. I thought it was like us being like, oh, that's a banger, and then us collectively can vote somewhere. No, it's nothing like that. It's all biased with people in the industry have to nominate your name, and then people vote on the group of people. We're like, all right, we think 𝙎𝙆𝘾𝙄𝘼𝑆 might be. So she had whatever significant majority mattered to be like, all right, she made it to the final nominees. We got to vote on these people. They didn't vote for her to win, of course, but still, good on her for getting up there. So this next one, melodic rap performance. I was like, what? I was very shocked. But it's 3 a.m. 𝙎𝑐𝑎 𝘆𝑒𝑖𝑐 and Rhapsody. But she was going against Beyonce and 𝙎𝑒𝑖𝑝, The Weeknd, Future, and Metro, and Lotto, and some other ones. But I was like, they gave it to 𝙎𝑐𝑎 𝘆𝑒𝑖𝑐 over Beyonce and 𝙎𝑒𝑖𝑝 and The Weeknd, Future, and Metro. I was very, very shocked by that. Happy for 𝙎𝑐𝑎 𝘆𝑒𝑖𝑐, but very shocked by the outcome from that. And to end this off, listen, there's very few things in this entire list that I actually cared about, and this was one of the few. Comedy Album of the Year. I looked at the people who he was against, and I was like, okay, I can understand some of these, and I can really understand one of them, and really also understand why he didn't win. But the winner is Dave Chappelle, of course, The Dreamer. A banger fucking special. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. That was good. He was up against Jim Gaffigan, which that is a heavy hitter for sure, but he's not the Dave Chappelle level. Nikki Glaser. And if she would have won, that's the one that I kind of would have expected to win, to be honest, just because how hard she's been like hitting lately, just hosting. I'm not trying to go Elon. I'm gonna put my hand high. How high she's been hitting the bar fucking lately with like these hosting the fucking the roast of Tom Brady and all sorts of just random stuff. I think she did the Emmys recently. I can't remember which one, but she's done a killer job. And the special she released, it was a good special. So I was honestly expecting her to win it. And then the third is Trevor Noah. Say what you want. I don't see it. I'm going to skip past that one before I say something rude. And Ricky Gervais. And Ricky Gervais is just like a... No one's ever going to be able to get rid of Ricky Gervais. He's always going to be there just bitching about something just so he can say something wild at the stand if he wins. And honestly, I'm here for it. I'm not against it. I'm just glad Dave Chappelle won. He deserved that 100%. Alright, so I'm going to change up the pace a little bit and do a Drew's Top 5. This is going to be for fast food restaurants. And I never realized the amount of restaurants that are considered fast food restaurants. So I have a different scale, in my opinion. I don't have pizza chains in this list. Because if I'll make that an entire separate Drew's top five. Drew's top five favorite pizza spots. Because everyone knows Papa John's is gonna be at the top, just because I'm 100% biased. But for this one specifically, I'm gonna start with number five, as I usually do. And this one was more of like a settled for number five because I was trying to think what would be my number five fast food restaurant, and what would it take for that to qualify? And I figured it'd be something that like I can eat of like half of the menu at least, and I enjoy it, or they've gotten some sort of like PR campaign stuff where like, all right, they do some crazy stuff every few months or every once a year that gets my attention enough to they're a staple, and I will stop by every now and then just to be like, oh, let's see if there's any new item on the menu, which I came up with Burger King for number five. And I was like, yeah, because I like Burger King. It's not my favorite, but I could see it being number five. Number four is kind of in the same lane, but more of like it's just a better quality taste in my opinion. It's Culver's, because some people I don't even think have even tried Culver's, but Culver's is banging. And those cheese curds instead of the fries. Ooh, don't get me started. Three, this was like a okay. Here up is pretty set in stone. But number three is Chick-fil-A. And I can eat Chick-fil-A any day of the week. Of course, we all want it the most on Sundays, but every day, Chick-fil-A is gonna bang. I'm still not convinced on the whole pickle juice thing, because your boy hates pickles. But I've got friends that have worked previously at Chick-fil-A, and I've brought it up to them, and I'm like, dude, they have to have some sort of like pickle juice just built into either like the stuff that they're frying it in, or they all make the chicken sandwich with a pickle on it, and then whenever they order one, if you order one without a pickle, they just take the pickle off and they give it to, I don't know. But every time I eat it, there's just a small hint of pickle, and I hate pickles, and it's still number three. Like it's still so fucking good. It's like a sweet good where it's for sure not good for you. It's for sure awful for you, but it shit bangs, dude. And number two, like I said earlier, it's set in stone. I don't eat number one more than I eat number two, but number two is Wendy's. And Wendy's is probably the one that I eat the most. And man, I know some people don't even like Wendy's. Nah, I get it. But Wendy's has me in a chokehold right now with their Baconator fries, and I cannot break free of it, man. It's like my guilty pleasure. It's like, all right, I worked 6 hours at the comedy club. There's only one way I can make this right to myself. Let's indulge in a order of Baconator fries. It's so good, though. They're so good. And then number one, which if you can guess, burger spot, chicken spot, burger spot. So number one, probably gonna be a burger spot. Easily number one, Five Guys. And technically, Five Guys, in my opinion, should not be considered fast food. It is fast food, but it's so many steps above. It's like this is like the spectrum for fast food, okay? And down here, love them, Taco Bell. And I say this with the utmost respect because I've done my many of years in my Taco Bell phase where that was probably the reason I was alive for a certain point in my life. Taco Bell, I'm gonna put them at the bottom, just because of like don't point your shots at me. I understand it's not popular opinion, but that's just where I'm gonna keep it. There's Taco Bell. Then you got like some other spots. You got other spots like the Subways, Jimmy John's, whatever. And then you start to get to like the public opinion has like the pizza spots up here. I don't have the pizza spots up there. Those are on their own separate thing. But then you would get like for my scale like the Chick-fil-A's and the okay where you can walk in, but there is like a very popular drive-through line, but they have like perfected how much it's almost like a restaurant where if you sit down on certain cities, like if it's not a popular city, aka like in Georgetown, they would literally walk up to you and be like, hey, you need a refill? Like this shit was crazy. Excuse you? I don't know if you'll be able to see him. Get my man's Toby. Where? Oh, you can kind of see him. You can kind of see him. What, boy? What's up? Bro, what day is it? It's warm outside and it's February 3rd. What the fuck is happening? This shit's crazy. I can go shirtless outside right now and be perfectly fine. That's not okay, dude. Well, I might as well finish doing the podcast but with the door open because it's fucking warm outside. But yeah, number one is Five Guys, man. Five Guys is just the taste, the care, and making the food, the service that they give you. Now, keep in mind, I had a homie that worked at Five Guys, so I mean, the people they hired, got wild. But you know what I'm saying? It's not like Chick-fil-A's hiring, I will say, but the food is just so fucking good. And you can watch it all right in front of you. They're not hiding behind some wall trying to act like, hey man, you don't want to see us make your food. So 100% Five Guys is number one. So before I end this episode shouting out a real one, I want to mention that there's probably someone watching this who needs to hear this. You just gotta start making content, dude. You really have to step outside of your comfort zone and be ready to embarrass yourself. It's really not as bad as you would expect. Like, there's some times where I'm editing a video and I'm like, oh, that was awkward, or damn, should I edit that out? But I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. At the end of the day, what's the worst that's gonna happen? I'm gonna post something. I might get embarrassed for like a day, 2 days, and then it's just gonna pass over. Nothing's gonna stick, and I'm just gonna okay, but that never happened. You might as well take all the shots that you can, because you miss all the ones you don't take. I mean, it's a common quote, like everyone. So you might as well do as much as you can, and then step outside of the comfort zone as confidently as you can is important too. You can't do it if like, oh, I'm nervous, or if I do it, then I might fail and it might not work as I hope, and yada yada. And you can't have that mindset. You got to do it with the mindset of I'm doing what I want to do, and I'm doing it when I want to do it. I'm not forcing myself. I'm not forcing the content. It's all gonna happen naturally, and I think that's how you get the best outcome possible. So hopefully, anyone hearing that, it'll have some sort of boost and motivation, because I know before I started doing this, I needed all the type of motivation just randomly whenever I would watch something, whenever I can get it. Because, man, whoo, I did not want to do any of this before I started making YouTube videos. I was like, I want to do something behind the scenes with CTZ still, but like repost comedy. But I didn't want to make YouTube videos. But then I got a fucking bolt of motivation, and I was like, you know what? I want to do it. I want to get back into it. So I started, and I've loved it ever since. So hopefully that'll help somebody listening. But I'm gonna go ahead and get into shout out to a real one. And this one's long overdue, because he is a motherfucking real one for sure. And I know he's gonna listen to this. Oh, Clay. Like, this is long overdue, for sure. But This man, oh my gosh. Whenever I first started, he was the first one that, like, at the comedy club I got friendly with. And he was the one that pretty much, like, showed me the ropes, really. So, of course, like I said, long overdue. Whenever I would notice, like, ah, shit, it's a little bumpy at the comedy club, I'd be able to turn to Clay. We'd be able to vent to each other, relieve a bunch of the stress, and be like, all right, we're better now. We're all good. And we both know that, like, we got each other's back at the comedy club. It's pretty much a tight community, you could say. Because it really is like a family at the comedy club. So you gotta, there's not that, we got a lot of employees, but handfuls of them, like, work almost every shift. So Clay is one of them. Plus, he's mentioned about watching the podcast recently too. So I was like, oh shit, okay, that's crazy. He also does stand up too. So he gets up on open mics and he's just all around. He's a good guy. So I cannot give a more deserved shout out to anyone but Clay, really. So yeah, shout out to a motherfucking real one, Clay. Those are my top fives. It's my opinion on the Grammys, and it's probably gonna be it for episode 5. I'll see you in the next one.